Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the objective type question and answer from the topic discrete Fourier transform and its properties for the subject DTSP or DSP. Okay, so already you know the DFT. DFT means discrete Fourier transform. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the multiple choice question from the DFT, discrete Fourier transform, and its properties. Okay, so the first question you see, DFT is applied to dash infinite sequences, finite discrete sequences, continuous infinite sequences, continuous finite sequences. The DFT, discrete Fourier transform, and DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform, is both used for analysis of the discrete time sequences. Okay, not continuous sequences. So the DFT is applied to infinite sequences, finite discrete sequence, continuous infinite, continuous finite. So DFT and DTFT is not used to analyze the continuous signal. So this too is wrong. And DFT is applied only for the finite discrete sequences. That is the sequence x of n is having the finite duration. That is the length of the particular sequence is finite. If x of n consists of 10 sample, 4 sample, 8 sample, for that sequence only we can apply the DFT. Okay, then the next one, the DTFT is the representation of dash. DTFT is the representation of periodic discrete time signal, aperiodic discrete time signal, aperiodic continuous signal, periodic continuous signal. So the DTFT means discrete time Fourier transform. So the discrete time Fourier transform, it is also used for discrete time signal only. So the next two option, continuous signal, this is wrong. So either the first one or second one. And the DTFT is the representation of aperiodic discrete time signal. So aperiodic means for non-periodic signal, we can use this DTFT. Okay. The next thing, the transforming relations performed by DTFTR. So in DTFT, in discrete time Fourier transform, so what are all the relations we are performing? Linearity, modulation, shifting, convolution. Yes, the both all four is the property of DTFT only. So all four is the correct answer. Okay, so linearity property is there, modulation property is there, shifting property, convolution property. So all transformation is performed in a DTFT. The next thing, the transformations are required for dash. So transformation means this transform, all transform, either it is a Laplace, is a transform, Fourier transform, DFT, discrete Fourier transform, all transforms are used to convert one form into another form. That is the time domain sequence into frequency domain sequence. Okay, so the transformations are required for dash. Analysis in time or frequency domain, quantization, easier operation, modulation. So the transformations are required for in order to analyze the signal in time or frequency domain and easier operation. So both 1 and 3 is a correct answer. So 1 and 3 is a correct answer. Okay. The next thing, the DFT. The DFT is preferred for dash. One, its ability to determine the frequency component of the signal, removal of noise, filter design, quantization of signal. So the DFT is prepared for. So what are the applications of DFT means? So it is used to design filter. Okay, so that is a main application. And another one is DFT is used to determine the frequency component of the given signal. So the quantization is not done using DFT. Removal of noise is also not done using DFT. So the DFT is preferred for this 1 and 3 in order to determine the frequency component of the signal, and the next one is a filter design. So 1 and 3 is a correct answer. Okay. The next thing, the frequency selectivity characteristics of DFT refers to dash. So frequency selectivity characteristics of DFT refers to ability to resolve different frequency component from input signal, ability to translate into frequency domain, ability to convert into discrete signal, none of the above. The frequency selectivity characteristics, it refers the ability to resolve different frequency component from the input signal. So in order to that is a differentiator what different frequency components available in the input signal, we are using this DFT. The next thing, the filtering is performed using DFT using dash limited size or block of data, smaller memory size, larger memory size, large segments of data. So filtering is performed using DFT. We can we can design filters. Okay, the linear filtering is performed by the DFT using limited size or block of data, small memory size, large segment of data. So limited size and small memory size. So the linear filtering, that is the overlap add method and overlap save method. These are all the filtering using the DFT process. Okay. So these two things, limited size, in that we are dividing the data into block of data and processing, and we are transmitting. Okay. So 1 and 2 is the correct answer. So C is the correct one. The next thing, the basic properties of DFT includes linearity, periodicity, circular symmetry, summation. So already we studied the properties of DFT. So if you want to learn more about this properties of DFT means, I will give the link for those videos. Okay, the properties of DFT with the proof already we derived in that DTSP playlist. Okay, so I will give the link for those videos in the description box. You can refer. Okay, so what are the property? Linearity, periodicity, then circular symmetry, then time reversal property, time shifting, frequency shifting, convolution, multiplication. These are all the properties of DFT, but summation property is not there. Okay, so the basic properties of DFT is 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the correct one. The next thing, the circular convolution of two sequences in time domain is equivalent to dash. Okay, that is what they are telling means the circular convolution of two sequence. So you just consider x1 of n, x2 of n is the two sequence. So x1 of n circular convolution with x2 of n is equivalent to dash. Okay, so the circular convolution of two sequence in time domain is equivalent to multiplication of DFT of that individual two sequence. So according to the convolution property of DFT, if you are taking convolution in time domain, it gets transformed into multiplication of individual DFT in the frequency domain. So this is called as a convolution property. So this one is equivalent to multiplication of DFTs of two sequences. Okay. The next thing, the circular shift of n-point sequence is equivalent to dash. So if you are performing shifting, that is x of n, we are shifting to some n-point sequence. We are shifting x of n minus n means, which is equivalent to the linear shift of its periodic extension and its vice versa. So the circular shift with n-point sequence is equivalent to linear shift of its periodic extension and its vice versa. Okay. The next thing, padding of zeros increases the frequency resolution. So padding of zeros means, so if you want to increase the size of the particular sequence, so we are in last, we are appending some amount of zeros. Okay, for example, x of n is equal to 1, 2, 3 means, so if you want to convert the x of n into 4 length sequence, we can append 1 0 in the last thing. So that is called as padding of 0. So the padding of 0 increases the frequency resolution. It's a true or false? It's a false. So padding of 0 is not increases the frequency resolution. The next thing, if x of n is a finite duration sequence of length L, then the discrete Fourier transform, that is DFT capital X of k of x of n is given as dash. Okay, this is the DFT formula. So if one sequence x of n is there, with the length of the x of n is L means what is the DFT of the sequence x of n? So already you know the formula. What is the formula? The capital X of k is calculated by summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e power minus j 2 pi k n by n. So this is the formula in order to find out the DFT of the discrete sequence x of n. Okay, for the k value between 0, 1, 2 up to capital N minus 1. Okay, with the condition is that the L is less than capital N. Okay, L is the length of the sequence. If you want to find the DFT of L length sequence, we have to take N point DFT. Here N is greater than L. Okay, that is here if the sequence consisting of 7 sample means we have to take 8 point DFT. So this is the condition. Okay, so in the remaining thing, in second equation, you see here the minus is missing. Okay, here this formula is correct, but here L is greater than N is given. So this is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. This is the DFT formula. Summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e power minus j 2 pi k n by n for n is greater than L or L is less than N. Okay. The next thing, if x of k is the DFT of x of n, then the inverse discrete Fourier transform of x of k is. So inverse DFT formula. Okay. So here the question is, what is the inverse DFT of capital X of k? So inverse DFT formula. So the small x of n is calculated by 1 by n summation k equal to 0 to n minus n x of k e power plus j 2 pi k n by n. This is the formula in order to find out the inverse DFT. Okay. So in the remaining formula, so you see in this formula, the 1 by n is missing. Similarly, here e power minus is given. In this two thing, e power minus is given. But in inverse DFT formula, e power plus j. In a DFT formula, e power minus j. So here 1 by n is missing. So this is the correct answer in order to find the inverse DFT. Okay, so you just remember all these formulas. Then the next one, which of the following is true regarding the number of computations required to compute the endpoint DFT? So in order to find out the endpoint DFT, so how many, that is the number of computation, how many additions required, how many complex multiplications required. Okay, this is a very important question. So this is the method. This question is for just ordinary endpoint DFT in a direct evaluation method. Okay, so similarly in the next video, so we are going to discuss about the FFT algorithm, DIT and DIT algorithm. So in that algorithm, the number of computations used to perform the endpoint DFT using DIT algorithm and DIF algorithm is different. Okay, that is also a very important question. So here, how many number of multiplications, how number of computation required to compute endpoint DFT means n squared complex multiplication, n into n minus 1 complex addition. So A is the correct answer. In order to perform endpoint DFT, for example, 4-point DFT, if we want to perform means 4 squared multiplication needed, 4 into 3, 12 complex additions are needed. Okay, so this is an important question. So similarly, so similar to this question, so there may be a chance to ask how many multiplications and additions are required in order to perform 8-point DFT. So in the place of n, you just substitute that 8. So 8 squared multiplication and 8 into 7 addition needed. Okay, so that's an important question. You just remember it. The next one, which of the following is true regarding the number of computations required to compute DFT at any one value of k? Okay, so here already you see the formula for the DFT is that the x of k is calculated for summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e power minus j 2 pi k n by n for k is from 0 to n minus 1. So in this formula, first you just substitute k equal to 0. Similarly, k equal to 1, k equal to 2. So we have to perform. So in order to perform this process for one value of k. So how many multiplication, how many number of computations are required? That is the question. Okay. So here, in order to perform for any one value of k, so 4n real multiplications and 4n minus 2 real additions are needed. Okay. So this is the answer. So in this, in order to perform for any one k value, so how many real multiplication? 4n multiplications needed. 4n minus 2 real additions are needed to perform any one k, to perform x of k for any one value of k. Then the next thing, the wn power k plus n by 2 equal to what? So already you know in DFT wn power k, it is nothing but a twiddle factor. Okay. So the wn power k plus n by 2 equal to which one? Wn power k minus wn power k, wn power minus k, none of the mention. So the answer is minus wn power k. So here you see the wn power k plus n by 2. It can be splitted as wn power k into wn power n plus n by 2. So here base is common, so we can add the power. So this one, it can be expanded like this. Okay. So what is the value of this wn power n by 2 means according to the symmetry property? The answer for this one is minus 1. So that's why the final answer is minus wn power k. So wn power k plus n by 2 is nothing but minus w power k. This property is called as symmetry property. Okay, symmetry property of twiddle factor. Then the next question, the twiddle factor w4 power 100 equal to w to the base x to the power 200. If these two values are equal, what is the value of x? Okay, so if these two twiddle factor is having the base value different, power value different, but the twiddle factor answer is equal means if you want to calculate this x, the formula is that, so you just divide this power divided by this base. 100 by 4 is always equal to this 200 divided by x. So 100 by 4 is equal to 200 by x if these two twiddle factor values are equal. So from this, if you are rearranging, we will get the x value as a 8. Okay. So the x value is 8. So W4 power 100 is equal to W8 power 200. Okay, that is the meaning. Then the next one, if x of n and x of k are n point DFT pair, then and x of n is equal to x of n plus n, then what is capital X of k plus n? Okay, that is what is the meaning means here. If you are taking DFT for x of n, we will get capital X of k. So x of n, x of k is a DFT, n point DFT pair means, and the input sequence x of n, it satisfies x of n plus n. That means periodicity. The input sequence x of n is periodic with the period n means what is the value of capital X of k plus n. Okay. So in order to prove this property, so already we studied the periodicity property of DFT. Okay. So according to the periodicity property of DFT, if the sequence x of n is periodic, then the DFT value is also periodic. That means if x of n, if we are taking DFT for x of n, we will get capital X of k. If x of n is periodic, the time domain sequence is periodic means the x of k plus n value is also equal to x of k. Okay, so the DFT answer is also periodic. So according to this, x of k plus n value equal to capital X of k. This property is called as periodicity property. Okay, so you just remember it. If input sequence is periodic with the period n means, capital N means the DFT answer is also periodic. So x of k plus n is always equal to capital X of k. Okay, so this is the periodicity property. This is a very important property in DFT. Then the next property, so you see if x1 of k and x2 of k are n point DFT of small x1 of n and small x2 of n respectively, then what is the n point DFT of x of n equal to a into x1 of n plus b into x2 of n? Okay, so what is here you see a into x1 plus b into x2 is said to be the linear combination of two inputs. So what is the DFT of linear combination of these two input? So in order to find the DFT, we can use the linearity property. So already you're familiar with linearity property. We studied linearity property in all transform. This is the first property. So according to the linearity property, if x1 of n, the DFT is capital X1 of k. The second sequence x2 of n, the DFT is capital X2 of k means then the linear combination a into x1 of n plus b into x2 of n, the DFT answer is a into DFT of first sequence plus the constant b into DFT of second sequence. This is the linearity. So the answer for this question is a into x1 of k plus b into x2 of k. Okay, so in first one, x1 of ak, x2 of bk is given. This is wrong. Here e power is given. This is wrong. This is the correct answer. This is the linearity property. Okay, then the next one, if the x of n is a complex valued sequence, then the x of n is given by x real part of n plus j x imaginary part of n. If the input sequence x of n is a one complex valued sequence, we can split that x of n as real value plus j into imaginary value. Then what is the DFT of x real of n? Okay, if you are splitting the x of n as real plus j imaginary, here the question is what is the DFT of this real value of x of n? So the formula is that this is the one. Okay, you just remember it. The DFT of the real value of signal x r of k is equal to summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 xr of n cos 2 pi kn by n plus imaginary xi of n sine 2 pi kn by n. Okay, this is the correct answer. This is the DFT of only the real value of x of n. Okay, then the next one, the same question, but here what is the DFT of the imaginary part of n? Okay, here the question is if the x of n is a complex valued sequence, so what is the DFT of real part of n, x r of n? Here, what is the DFT of x I of n, imaginary part of n? Okay, so here the answer is that x I of k is equal to summation n equal to 0 to n xi of n cos 2 pi n minus xr of n sine 2 pi kn by n. Okay, so you just compare it. Here, real part multiplied with the cos, imaginary part multiplied with the sine. Okay, in center plus. But the imaginary DFT is nothing but imaginary part multiplied with cos minus real part multiplied with sine. Okay, so you just remember these two formulas. If the x of n is a complex valued sequence, then the next question, if x of n is a real sequence means, you know, the x of n is only having the value, real value 2, 3 only. In the previous thing, complex valued signal means x of n is 1 plus j, 1 minus j. Similarly, here the x of n is a only real sequence. It is having the real value 2, 3 only. And the x of k is the n point DFT. Then which of the following is true? If x of n is a real sequence, which one is true? X of n minus k equal to x of minus k. This is also true. X of n minus k equal to x complex conjugate of k. X of minus k and x complex conjugate of k, this two thing is also equal. So all of the mentioned. If x of n is a real sequence, all these relations are true. Okay. The next one, if x of n is real and even, then what is the DFT of x of n? Okay, if the x of n is real. So, you know, the x of n sequence is having only the real part and it is a even sequence, then what is the DFT of x of n? So the formula is that summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x real of n cos 2 pi k n by n. This is the formula if the sequence x of n is real and even. Next, if x of n is real and odd, what is the value of x of n? Okay, so in the previous problem, x of n is real and even. The formula is summation x of n cos 2 pi k n by n. Here, x of n is real and odd. The answer, the DFT is minus summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 xr of n sine 2 pi k n by n. Okay, here cos. Here minus sine 2 pi k n by n if it is a real and odd sequence. Okay, so these are all the formulas for the DFT. You just remember it. Okay, then the next one, if x1 of n, x2 of n and x3 of m are three sequences, each of length n. Okay, x1, x2, x3 is having the length n, capital N, whose DFT is given by x1 of k, x2 of k, x3 of k respectively, and the x3 of k is equal to x1 into x2, then what is the expression for small x3 of m? So here they are considering the three sequence x1, x2, x3. The three sequence is having the length n, and the DFT of the individual thing is capital X1, capital X2, capital X3 of k. And here you see the relation between these three. The x3 of k is nothing but x1 of k multiplied with x2 of k. Then what is the expression for small x3? Okay, so in which situation if the DFT answer is multiplying, so already we studied the convolution property. Okay, so according to the convolution property or the multiplication property in DFT. Okay, so this one it can be written as multiplication property in Fourier transform or circular convolution property in time domain. Okay, so according to the circular convolution property, if you are performing convolution in time domain, that gets transformed into multiplication in Fourier domain. Okay, so according to that one, so the x3 of m is nothing but the circular convolution of x1 of n, x2 of n. So what is the circular convolution formula? Summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n, x2 of m minus n, circular convolution over n. This is the answer. Okay, so in which situation we will get the multiplication of two DFT means if the x3 is a convolution of these two sequence. So what is the convolution of x1 with x2 means? The circular convolution property is summation x1 of n into x2 of m minus n, circular convolution with over n. Okay, then the next question, if x of k is the endpoint DFT of the sequence x of n, then what is the DFT of x complex conjugate of n? Okay, so we studied one more property, complex conjugate property of DFT. So according to the complex conjugate property, if x of n DFT is x of k, then x complex conjugate of n, the DFT is capital X complex conjugate of n minus k. So here the answer is C, x complex conjugate of n minus k. Okay, this is the complex conjugate property. The next one, if x of k is the endpoint DFT of the sequence, then the circular time shift property is that x of n minus L is x of n multiplied with e power minus j 2 pi k L by n. Yes, this is true. Okay, according to the circular time shifting property, if the sequence x of n is shifted by L amount, means the DFT answer is that the same x of k multiplied with e power minus j 2 pi k L by n. So this statement is correct. Circular time shifting property is correct. The next one, if x1 of k, x2 of k are the endpoint DFT of x1 of n, x2 of n respectively, then the endpoint DFT of circular convolution of two time domain sequences dash. Okay, so if you are taking circular convolution of these two sequence in time domain, that is transformed into multiplication of the two DFT in a Fourier domain. This is called a circular convolution property. So you see, x1 of n DFT is capital X1 of k, x2 of n DFT is capital X2 of k, then x1 of n convolution, circular convolution with x2 of n is x1 of k multiplied with x2 of k. Okay, then the next one, multiplication of two sequences and performing DFT of it is equal to circular convolution of two independent DFT sequences scaled by a factor 1 by n. This is true or false? True. So this property is called as multiplication property in time domain. This property is reverse as that of the circular convolution property. So if you are taking convolution in time domain, it gets transformed into multiplication in frequency domain. In reverse, x1 multiplied with x2 means if you are taking DFT, the answer is 1 by n x1 of k circular convolution with x2 of k. Okay, this is the multiplication property. The statement is true only. Then the last question, the magnitude of twiddle factor is always 1 and the phase angle of that particular twiddle factor is minus 2 pi by n. This is true or false? True. Okay, so for any twiddle factor, the magnitude w n power k, for any value of n and k, the magnitude of twiddle factor is 1 and the phase angle is minus 2 pi by n. This is true. Okay, so these are all the some of the questions about the DFT and its properties. Okay, so in the next video, so we will see the problems related with this DFT and the next topic convolution, circular convolution. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel and please share this information to your friends also. So we will meet in the next video. If you want to learn the previous MCQ means, I will give the link for those videos in the description box. And also, in order to study this DFT properties in a detailed manner, I will give the link in the description box and iCard you can see. Okay, so thank you.